A very good evening to everyone listening to me. This is your host of the show, Neetu Sharian, and you are listening to Dreams Awaken. So today we have this friend of mine who I got from Amrita School of Business during my MBA period of time. And she, if you ask me, have you been like best buddies, best friends, or were you like next room buddies? I would look at her face. I would rather say, I've met this girl. I have seen her dressing style. I have kind of admired the way she has this confidence to carry her like next level clothings in the fashionista era. And I love her attitude, her public speaking skills, and obviously she had been the topper throughout her studies. So now I got to know her history of like everything through her LinkedIn. I was stalking her for many days. So we have this topper, and one more thing, she has been in the reel for Star Health Insurance. So you can see she's also wearing many hats. So, welcome Aishwarya and I, the guest of honor, and thank you so much for trusting me to make this moment possible because this has been my tagline, my dreams awaken. And I never knew that I can actually do this because I still remember back in 2023, in my first job at Chennai, taking a headphone, keeping the mic, and saying something that I felt like saying off to the world. And now I am in the second season, and just pinch me and tell me this is real because I'm going crazy with this. Thank you so much, Aishwarya, for joining me. And people who are listening, thank you so much for your patience till this moment. We are going to start. So, tell me, how do you feel to be in this show as a first guest without any proper studio setup? Just the word trust in me.
Thank you, Neetu, for the intro. That was very elaborate. uh, so, when you first reached me out regarding this podcast, even I was surprised. I was like, me? Are you sure? Like, there were many Aishwaryas in our batch. So I was like, are you sure it is me you are reaching out to? And speaking about public speaking skills, I mean, Neetu, you are the master because I've seen the way you take seminars. Especially, I think we had a same session for cross culture management, Shobra ma'am's class, I guess. So that is the first time we both are having, like, we both were in the same class. So that was the first time I saw you presenting or speaking publicly. That was like so mesmerizing. So everyone should learn public speaking skills from her, to be really honest.
Okay.
And she's
So,
a good writer.
okay.
So I read your blogs and everything. It's really good.
So, since you mentioned the public speaking skill, I was the kind of kid, okay, who used to be the church speaker and everything. That's how I started. And my mom used to kind of put me in every programs. I remember the vague idea of me, and then I always wanted to be on stage and speak. That got into me. But I remember the scariest part is the day before the program. I would be like thinking of every shitty, I mean, sorry, wait, every negative thing in the world and
And
thinking of every negative possibilities that would happen on stage and get into the anxiety mode. This happened for 10 to 12 years in my life in school, and I'm like, I still have that functional anxiety. Like, okay, what if this doesn't work out? And this time I'm
yes.
like, people who have been doing this, go ahead. That's how it just got into me. So I am not that kind of, I mean, maybe yeah. I don't know how people like judge me when I just do it. I love speaking. I mean, storytelling, speaking, and also, I mean, if you start speaking to me, I just start speaking to you any random thing of my life. If I have a connection with you, I mean, it just goes on. I know that. So this thought only got me thinking, okay, the Dreams Awaken first was like, I was giving philosophical lessons to the world. Okay, people who are listening to me, I know you know me, but still. So it is just like you can achieve what you want, all these things. So when I told my
Mm.
mom yesterday that mom, I'm gonna just start my YouTube channel. She had asked me like once when I was working, if you're getting bored, like pinch me and tell me, Neetu, no, we'll go to the next topic, okay?
No, no, please continue.
Yeah, I was telling her I'm gonna start my YouTube channel. So she was like, she was once she'd asked me like, telling, can't you not do this and all? I was like, no, no, never, because I was working that time, so everything would be a mess. I felt. So
Mm.
yeah, so in Chennai I was that time, so I felt office everything would be a problematic thing. In the sense, I won't be able to handle the privacy. I have to put my brain into it right that way. So
Right.
yesterday she told me, and she'd be like, "Oh, it would be some motivation stuff." And I was like, "No, this time no motivation. This time I'm gonna bring
Malu moms
balance."
are there with.
Motivation type. I was like, "No, this time no." So yeah, so that is how I got it. So I've been kind of texting people and I've been getting reply, but Aishwarya was that person who blindly trusted me and got into the show. I mean, because of you only, I set up everything. The first email. I mean, no, there was some other person who accepted, yeah, and I got the tagline. I was basically using marketing skills, even though I was not a marketing student. So that is
Yeah.
how I got to think, okay, this is how you should bring in a product or a service or something. So that got me thinking about Deepak Gupta, sir. And I'm sorry if I shouldn't take or not, sir. If you are in the audience, I mean, we are a fan, obviously. And every professor I met in my college about marketing, I was thinking through Vinita ma'am, everyone. So that got me build up this idea, and it's this in the pre-seed stage, as you can see. Okay, so enough with the stories. Let's move into the guest of honor, Aishwarya, and this is going to be your life from now. So tell me, you're from Palakkad, right?
Yes, I'm from
So
Palakkad.
we have this vibe, okay? We're from Palakkad. Yeah, so your schooling was in?
Actually, even though I'm in Palakkad district, my house is in Patambi. So
Okay.
it is kind of near Malappuram.
Mm.
So till 10th, I was in Patambi, then Shornur,
Mm.
then Trishur.
Oh, so you were in
Yeah.
hostel.
Yeah, for Trishur, I mean, plus one, plus two, I did my higher secondary education in a residential school.
Which school?
Chinmaya Vidyalaya.
Oh, nice. So how
Yeah.
was yeah, so you were in biomath.
Yeah,
Okay. So the
it
doctor did
was
writing entrance.
exactly.
Yeah, got it. So, how was your first home away experience? Like, first time moving into hostel, adjusting life. Have you ever thought you would be present in your life then? Did you have any realization, manifestation, like, I also want to be that person, that dreams awaken in me? Did you have any such feelings? Then, there.
Actually, yeah, to be honest, now thinking about it, it was like the pivotal moment of my life because till 10th standard, I was in state syllabus, and 11th and 12th, I changed to CBSE. I know most of the people do the like the other way around,
Other way around,
but
yes.
yeah, for me it was always different. I did it like this.
Because I think
Uh,
you had that confident, studious, hopeful expectation. The person who people put the expectation in. So that,
right.
yeah, they upgraded you to the next level. Yes.
Oof, wow. Thank you for that. But yeah, kind of. I would say at that point of my life, I shifted to CBSE. So that was like first of many things in my life. My first CBSE, like first time being away from house, first time being away from Palakkad itself. Even though like Palakkad and Thrissur are like very near, culturally there are like
Hmm.
differences, right? And the school was also very diverse because in the other schooling which I have done, the people were there weren't that much of a diverse set of students, and mostly we'll be speaking in Malayalam because most of the people will be
Hmm.
Malus. And this was the first time I was put in a environment where I have to speak in English because there were like diverse set of people, and people from even North India, other parts of India came there to study. So it was like a very new experience for me, like being away from home, CBSE syllabus, and even this residential school thing, like how to navigate life. And I have been this pampered kid in of my family, because I'm the youngest kid of my family.
Same, same.
So so like you can understand, no? I had to, like, for the first time we had to share the room with three people, and youngest kids are never good at sharing anything. So it was like a very good learning opportunity. I got to learn people, how to talk to people, and other than that, academically, spiritually, overall it was a very eye-opening experience for me. I got to meet a very like diverse set of people. I got to understand me a little bit more, and obviously my teenage, it was like my teenage, you know, going against my parents era opening. So like I used to think a lot of cringe things were cool, which I regret now. But yeah, all of that was a phase which made me a hopefully a better human like right now.
That's why you're before me today, because of that decision that the people behind you took it that day. Yes.
Right.
So, yeah. So, after that, you got into Calicut University, right?
Yes,
Okay,
yes,
which was
yes.
the college?
So it is name of the college is Mercy College.
Mercy
It's
College.
in
Oh, nice.
it's in Palakkad. You
I know.
might be
Yeah.
knowing that. Yeah. So my mother also studied there. So
Proud
we
alumni's daughter.
Ha, alumni is not exactly, but it was a completely different course. I was doing biotechnology. So after this neat preparation, my head
I
was
got
like
it. I
into
understood that from bio to biotechnology. Yeah.
biotechnology. So I was exploring other things also, like zoology, botany, but zoology, uh, I was not comfortable with cutting animals.
Mm-mm-mm.
And biotechnology, it was a booming field. I mean, it is still a booming field, and it just intrigued me a lot, because you will be going deep into the, you know, people's environment, even
Yeah.
like DNA, studying about DNA, cell, tissue. Mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell.
Okay, so I understand that you had come out of the conventional thinking, even though being the studious kid, the smart kid. I mean, that's how it goes in the society, right? At that point of time when we were all in school. So, coming out of the engineering and the medicine track, right? Okay, I
Yeah.
can like relate to you completely on this because I don't know if it's the right time to tell it or not because I had also been this kid who were in my 10th standard. So after 10th, I got 10 CGP. I felt it is normal thing only. After that, I wanted to go in for entrance course. Okay, because I had a bridge course experience. So I
Oh.
told my family, I fought with my family and all, and they shifted my school and we went to that school and I didn't write the entrance exam for the school but I had marks so they were like okay she can be our student and they took us in. I had my best friend coming in but she couldn't kind of get in so I was left alone. My first
Hmm.
home away experience, homesickness to the peak, crying to the next level, every day standing in the queue to get the font. I'm like please one call mom, mom. And the end of the story is this way that even though people are maybe seeing this, they keep asking me and they keep trolling me on this. I came back. The first decision of my life was this. I was strong. I decided I'm going to go back to my school because somewhere I thought I felt what I wanted to get in from there was not kind of. I mean, I was not able to achieve it. I fell into some thought. I don't know, but I decided I was standing strong on the point that I'm going to come back. And my parents
Mhm.
took every necessary step to bring their pampered kid back to Palakkad. In KP again, and the greatest of the personality was a person called as my principal. He was like, okay with it. So I came back to my school with the same subjects of computer science. And just like you, I didn't wanted to do engineering or medicine, even though I was kind of pushed into a bit kind of to do medicine. But I was like, that's not my cup. It's not like that's not my cup. As you said, I'm a bit afraid of kind of blood. It's not like afraid, but it
Mhm.
brings my nerves on like when I see the blood and
Right.
all. And that thought of that only getting to understand, I was like, no, 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 no. And I studied biology and understood that's not where my thing is. It doesn't mean what I did in my graduation made me somewhere, got me somewhere and all, but at that
Right.
point, what the teenage mind goes through, everything, yeah. So, and then I, along with my friend, after class 12th, moved to Bangalore into Mount Carmel College. Then I took my triple major degree in physics, maths, and computer science. So, I mean,
Wow.
I wanted to do physics. Okay, I was crazy for physics, like literally crazy for physics that time. So that's,
Can't relate.
huh?
Can't relate. Can't relate.
It's not like that. It was like I had an inspirational teacher. So I was so inspired by that person that he taught us so well. So after that, his classes, I got his notes and all. So I came back from the bridge course. It happened in bridge course. And then in my school, I scored like a 49.5 out of 50 and all in that subject. Okay, physics. First unit test. And he's like, this is my thing. I'm going to do this in my life. That was my dreams awakened one. But I didn't go that track. I mean, eventually, I am not in there right now. It's just my graduation. And I mean, I think we're on the same track, parallel tracks now.
Yeah.
Connectable things that have happened in our lives. Yeah.
Right. The
So,
only difference is physics. I used to like
yeah.
chemistry and biology more.
No,
Physics was
chemistry is, huh.
uh, physics. I used to find it so difficult, and generally, I don't like. Uh, I don't put that much effort into studying, honestly. But physics, I had to put a lot of effort. According to me, if I'm putting a lot of effort, means at that time, at that
It will
point
get
of
the
time,
result.
I used to feel like if I'm putting a lot of efforts on something, that means I'm not good at this. Like I'm never going to be good at this. That
I had the same idea. That is what got me into physics. See, 10th standard it was. So people will think, what am I telling on? 10th standard it was, and it was like, it was my sum test. So I am this kid who studied the day before the examination with a lot of tension and without sleeping and all. Like I used to get tense. This question will come tomorrow. What will happen? And get up in between sleep. So this kind of kid who's kind of in co-curriculars every time and all, but studies maybe 2 days before the exam. So that kind of,
right,
but used to get kind of
right,
good marks and all, right?
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I took my physics textbook the day before the exam. Think of the scenario, physics and day before the exam.
Ah,
I'm studying motion. Motion. What is
uh-huh.
motion? What is it? I'm thinking everything in the whole world to mug up the whole thing. That's not happening to me. I was in some scenario and I got in. I went and wrote the exam. I was crying and came out of the examination. All my first time in life and everything and all. So this got me thinking, why can't I do this? I am
Right.
lacking in this. I should be doing this now because I don't know anything in this. That
Yeah.
thought got me, okay. Then I went for this bridge course at this place, and then this professor got me thinking, this is cool stuff, you can do it. And
Mm-hmm.
then his classes got me to think about it, to work on it. The only thing I did for like 2 to 3 years was thinking about physics, learning about physics, asking questions about physics, because I knew I was lacking there. It wasn't that
Right.
thing, but yeah, I knew I wanted to, and it got me a little bit exciting, getting into physics. So I knew I was a blunt person over there, so I had to do this in life. Okay, it was
Mm-hmm.
not my childhood dream or anything, but it I felt like, I mean, yeah, you got it right that way.
Yeah.
So that got me to that position in like my UG college to take physics.
Understood.
Yeah, that's yeah.
For
So,
me,
hmm,
chemistry was something which I can imagine. Okay, like
hmm,
I can imagine the valency things like covalent bonds,
hmm, hmm.
ionic bonds. I can imagine that SPD. Oh my god, plus one, plus two memories.
Don't take me back to test and
So I can imagine all those. Even biology was something which was
Hmm,
very intriguing. I can literally imagine, but amino acid coming
hmm,
up
hmm,
and
hmm.
building a protein. All of this were like stories for me. Okay, I've always liked stories. All of this were like stories for me. Physics, I don't understand the point why we are finding the angle of a water which is in between a tube, and we can see it is convex or concave, I don't remember,
Hmm.
but we are trying to find the angle whether it is obtuse or like I don't know how people are even thinking about it. I used to get like, so confused. Even current, you in physics, everything will be like, okay, let's assume this one is this, but ignore air resistance, ignore this, ignore gravity. I've never, like, physics was something which I used to find very difficult, especially in plus one, plus two. But the surprising thing was I got like the highest mark in physics.
Nice.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Mercy College. So, coming to that point, I was also going to be studying in Mercy College at that point. I got admission, but somewhere I felt like what to sell. See, I wanted to get into a government Victoria College, so that didn't
Yeah.
happen. So I had this regret in me, this anguish in me, this sadness in me. So I was like, I got my friend was going there, and she was like, "Are you coming? There's a last chance for you. If you're coming, we're going. That's it." I was like, I made my whole parents agree to it, and we're like, okay, Mount Carmel College means go. That's it. And we just
Mhm.
got in there, and that's how life kind of took. But I never thought at that point that I would be doing MBA.
Mm.
I
Yeah.
thought I would go in the physics track only because I had
Right.
kind of made a whole mess of physics things. Like I told everyone I'll do physics. I told my teachers I'll do physics. You know the pressure, right? But so coming back to Mercy College. Yeah. I'll just get into this perspective since we are discussing our childhood, teenage, and everything. Today, I see you as the manager in Star Health, right? So, the smile on your face says it all. Yeah, so the brand that Star Health is, the insurance
Mm.
name, the tagline that brings in. Okay, so if a person from Star Health can come into my home and talk to me about the insurance over there, that is kind of a lot of trust that people have invested in this brand. So I'm not gonna
Right.
bring into the company matters or anything, but I'm very proud to have you, the manager at Star Health Insurance, right now sitting in my show and speaking about a childhood and a teenage, which I could also relate to. So I find your LinkedIn post, I mean LinkedIn profile. So that's how I thought I will just start off with things like connect on LinkedIn, email, and all those processes like just like I did. Tell me the journey that got you thinking from biotech to why MBA. I understand. Just bringing in this point also, she was the university third rank holder, and I was just looking through profile, and I can see third rank, seventh rank, only ranks I can see, literally speaking. Okay, so even though you were good in studies in biotech, is it the market trend, the world at that time, or do you feel like you should be visible somewhere in some leadership role that got you thinking that management is my I mean, my thing, or and why Amrita School of Business, and all these things is your next question.
Okay. So, well, like I told, in person, as in my go-to motto was like, go with the flow until the flow
It's
starts
not.
going against you.
Yeah.
I I mean, obviously everybody's life mantra is different, and even I have tried, setting a goal, fixing my journey, and going towards that. So, like you told, you wanted to do more things in physics. I also thought that I would do MSc physics, MSc biotechnology, and then PhD. That was my career path at that time. So after, like, I didn't get in NEET. So what happened was, from LKG till 12th standard, you have a very set path. Like, after LKG you are going to UKG, after UKG you are going to first standard. That and all is preset. You don't have to think anything, like it will go smoothly. The first set of, like, the in your life you have to choose the first set of decision after 10th standard, like which stream to take, like it could be science, commerce, humanities, etc. Af- so, but even though those decisions are there, we know after 10th standard we are going to do 11th, 12th. So after 12th, it was a major hit because I was stuck. I was stuck. I don't know what to do. I thought I would get into NEET, okay, like I would become a doctor, but I didn't want to go repeat it, okay.
Got it.
But by the time I started thinking about like what to do next, Most of the admissions had already closed.
Mhm.
And
There, I know the pain. I remember applying in this Kerala's that college list you have, right? And then waiting for the list,
huh,
waiting for the list, waiting
yeah,
for the list. And the last thing I could do was I should study. Even the same mind, I don't want to repeat. I'm not going to go back to that, not trauma, but that coaching center drama all over again. One second.
exactly.
I think the meeting will end soon. I'll just get back if the meeting ends. Okay, we'll join the same link. It's showing
Okay,
10
okay.
minutes. I don't know why. I didn't set any timing.
Fine.
We will get back if it ends, okay? If it's
Okay,
1 minute,
okay.
I'll tell you. We'll go and I'll just send
Okay.
you. Okay. Yeah, so I didn't want
Mm-mm-mm.
it to wanted the drama to repeat. So I
Right.
kind of had to kind of stand up for myself and tell this is enough, and I'm just gonna move because I have no other option. As you said,
Yeah.
go with the flow until the flow is not
Flowing.
yeah.
Flow is not flowing.
Hmm.
So yeah, I was stuck at that point of my life, and then I knew I would be taking something along the lines of biology,
Hmm.
like biotechnology, which is still good, which is like after COVID, I think it is booming very
Hmm.
nicely.
Yeah.
So I wanted to take biotechnology. So my cousin was got into Mercy College for another course, and she told, "Okay, there is biotechnology course here, so we both can go together." So that was like a leap of faith, to be really honest, because by that time almost all the admissions were closed, and at that time I was I was really stuck, and I didn't know what to do. I was thinking of all the possible outcomes from this decision, and all what I can like do. For example, I was thinking about, why can't I go take LLB? Why can't I go take engineering? Medicine was not possible, but all the other things, even I was thinking about physics, chemistry, but yeah. Anyways, I got into biotechnology. Biotechnology was actually nice. I mean, as a course, it was like really very. It gives you a very fresh perspective to look into life, to look into matters. It
Obviously, you will
gives you.
also have this pressure when you go for a degree at that time because all of your friends will be in engineering and medical colleges or
Yeah,
repeating, right? So
yeah,
you have this pressure. Okay, why are you? What I mean, people have asked me like, "What are you doing?" And one person I met in a medical shop told me, "Please, ma, don't take medicine and engineering." I'm not defaming any people over there. It's just a bit of conversation coming out. Please, guys, please listen to us. So it's like people are like, it's not of the notion. I'm not against anything, but I'm telling that viewpoint that okay, let's do something different. That kind of is kind of taking us to
right.
a degree college. But there also we have this problems like everyone around is asking, looking, no friends because most of them are in the coaching centers and most of them
Right.
are going for engineering and the medical colleges. So you are like defining yourself, your life, your personality. You're deciding what to do next, which boxes to fill in, the
Ex-
priorities, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
So that was an eye-opening experience for me. And biotechnology as a stream, it is like really wonderful. And you like I told, it gives you a very fresh perspective about life, fresh perspective about even it talks about how, like, philosophically, how even the small things matters you
Yes.
know
Mm.
and it has helped me to develop research acumen, how to like keep an eye for the details. Other than that, I was like good at the
Mm.
study
That's
academic part of it.
understandable. LinkedIn. LinkedIn is revealing everything. Guys, go and see her LinkedIn if you want to be inspired from her.
Yeah. So while I was taking that course in Calicut University, in between there is this one thing where you should be taking a elective which is not part of your core courses. Okay. So I took
I should just give me
accountancy.
1 minute. The recording is going to end. I'll just pause it over here and save the recording and get back to you with the link. Give me 1 minute.
Okay.
We'll start from the same thing. Okay.
Okay.
So we were on this conversation when our recording kind of got stopped, and Everything was on Teams, but later on we had to shift across platforms, ask ChatGPT what to do, and AI came for our rescue, and we're on Zoom right now. So that's why the confusion. So let's get back to the conversations going. So Aishu, you're telling me about the phase in Mercy College, and later on to decision making for entrance for management. I mean, I hope that is the flow that you're trying to, I don't know, just like.
Yeah, yeah. So, so when I was doing biotechnology, I mean, when I was studying biotechnology, I had done some internships and so for in case of Calicut University, we have to choose a elective course which is not part of
Yeah,
your
you're
core
telling that,
course.
right? Huh.
Yeah. So it could be anything ranging from max, computer science, accountancy. So as an elective, I chose accountancy and I guess entrepreneurship. Okay.
Hmm.
So I was able to understand that like there are a lot of brilliant scientific innovations which are happening, especially in India. But there is this gap between the research, which is the back end operations happening, and the people, you know, uh, those innovations coming into market. There is a gap
Hmm.
between the research and the awareness, especially in India, in case of India. Because if you look into the companies also, everyone is sales oriented. Most of the companies will be sales oriented. That is obvious because revenue is the main
Hmm.
important thing. At the same time, putting money into research is a long term,
Hmm.
uh, yeah, long term goal. So the return will be after very long term. So it's not like most of the people won't be okay with that,
Hmm.
right? So the research and development, there is a gap. So I understood there is a gap between this and the products coming to market or the innovations coming into market.
So yeah, I
So
would
and
kind of bring
yeah.
it to this point. I had kind of prepared. This is a very old tab that I used. Memo. Okay. So we hadn't had any idea how it's going to be like. So I jotted down something and told her this is the thing. So I was trying to bring in this point. I blocked you for this point. I wrote GOH, guest of honor, Aishwarya Nair. The next thing I got to write was research mind. And you have done that research now, you're telling me about that mind. I read you, Aishu, I read you. Come on.
So wow. So yeah, when we were like I told,
Hmm.
this research thing wasn't happening, and a lot of people are not getting. I mean, being aware of this and this entrepreneurship and even accountancy
Hmm.
sparked an interest in me, and I was discussing with my you know sister and brother regarding this. Like I was exploring taking management studies instead of MSc biotechnology, and I was telling these are the reasons. So I've done this research, and I like being in the front end rather than back end. I
See,
mean,
when
back end
she
is
says she's been thinking of this, I understand that she had also done her science. She's a science. She was a scientific researcher in microbiology. So after that point, she understood the gaps. I feel right after being the scientific
yeah.
researcher, the key term that everyone wants in their life. Yeah.
Yeah. So even the internship and the projects and all as part of curriculum we have to do. So during that process, I understood I like to be in the limelight rather than the back end.
Same got me to Amrita to do
Uh,
MBA because I also felt I'll be left behind.
right.
I get you. The
So
craziest thing is we haven't had a proper conversation a whole college. And today we're meeting after 2 years and we
true.
are like we are the same personalities.
The same personalities in different fonts.
Yes.
Yeah. So honestly, in college, I never thought we would be having
That
this
I
much
never thought I
similarity.
would start with a port I wanted to do somewhere in time, but not so soon.
So yeah, the all of those I made me write cat, and it was the first time I didn't do. much
Hmm.
preparation.
Hmm.
It was decent, not IM level,
Got it,
obviously,
got it. Mm.
but decent
Mm.
for Amrita. So I applied for Amrita. At that time, I did explore many other opportunities. I mean, many other colleges, but I was set. This time, I was like, no, I'm not gonna repeat the same mistake I did for, like, after plus one and plus two. Because after plus one and plus two, I didn't have any colleges in my bucket list. I didn't send any admission, and at last, I was like, okay, everyone got into colleges. I have to get
I
into
have to
some
get into
college.
somewhere. I
Yeah,
think.
I have to. But this time, by the third year, I was clear, like, okay, this shouldn't happen. And I was set on, like, okay, I'm going to do this MBA. For MBA, I'll write the CAT exam, and I'll after the score came, I was like, okay, I'm going to. While I was studying itself, I started applying to colleges. I started taking interviews. So I was like so peaceful by the end of the academic year, because I already got into college. I was because and
Yeah.
I see the other people were like panicking. I'm
Mm.
not a sadist,
I know, I know.
but
So
I
I
was
was trying to tell that. So maybe Aishwarya was that person who used to go and comfort people. Guys, everything would be fine, right? Maybe she
yeah,
was
yeah,
that
yeah,
person over there for those people. I was feeling because
yeah.
we have it,
And I
and that
was
is
like,
what I felt. Mm.
and I was telling them also, because I had a backup plan, as in if the cat doesn't work out, I thought I would go forward with the MSc biotechnology itself. So for MSc biotechnology, I had a lot of colleges in my mind. I had put together when will the admission be open, what all are the exams which you have to write. So I had shared that with them, because I already got into college and I was not looking into MSc biotechnology. So I thought it would be important. This was for the people, I mean, my friends and all. So that was the first time I was feeling like very relieved, because I got into a college, I got into Amrita, and the funny thing is, the I got only like I think 1 week break after my
I
BSc,
know, yeah. Mm. And
and
this
the
pandemic
MBA
hit.
online
It
classes
is
started.
pandemic hit time, so it was a
Yeah,
very,
yeah.
very confused. What a very tense time. The world is going through so much, and we were also, yeah.
Yeah,
Mm.
I remember, because I think by my UG was like first year flood, second year flood, third year COVID. So, so when we are talking to, I mean, when I am talking to my alumni also, we won't say the academic year. We'll say the flood one, during
Yeah,
flood one, during
that
flood
too.
two.
Mm. And I
Ah,
remember, yeah, continue. Sorry, good.
yeah, yeah. So that's how I got into MBA. That's what I was saying.
So
Yeah.
I remember our classes were started almost like August 8th, 10th. That time we had the
Oh,
orientation online. We were all meeting each other. I was getting message from all these people in groups, and everything was happening like team formation, mails. Like I appreciate Amrita for the. I mean, if I know people are listening to me from Amrita, this is not to like bring it, but seriously, we as students of Amrita are very thankful for the various opportunities that we were provided, and the way, even though COVID was hit, we never know what is going to happen. Our curriculums are just going through the fast paced environment only. I mean, Amrita got is all ready for the corporate, to be honest. Because
true.
I remember attending a meeting at 12 o'clock and thinking, like, will it end? I mean, like, I never know. I never attended. I had an experience at attending a meeting at 12 o'clock at night at MBA, and we're doing finance. I'm from a science background. I have no idea what's going on. So that feeling is there. And as I remember, I have one more thought. I was like thinking, so we have these deadlines, right? We have to submit it
Yeah.
that day. So I thought, okay, I'm not able to do it. So what if we'll tell, I mean, maybe some people with the team lead, sometimes I was, sometimes other person. The team lead,
Mm.
those who had the corporate experience came in as a team leads in the first thing I remember in my groups and all. So I'll tell them that we will make sure that the teacher, the professor knows that we're not able to do it because maybe we don't have the knowledge, or that maybe I don't have the knowledge or resources that way. So then I understood that that is not the corporate standard. That is not what they expect. If you're asked to do something, you produce the result, no matter what, nothing more than that. That got me into that. thinking, okay, this is how it works. I never imagined to be in corporate, but I'm like, okay, this is how I have to be, like a fast-paced person. I have to complete my
Right.
assignment, whatever I can do in the best form, right? And
Right.
I think
Mm.
you guys were the, those, what do you call, those creamy layer in MBA, whose face I could see everywhere.
Oh my god. Actually, MBA, I remember the online classes. Oh my god, it was so hectic. I was really, when they asked to come to college, I was really afraid because online classes, it was so hectic. I didn't, like, my parents would literally ask me, "Are you alive?" Because we didn't see you. It almost feel like you are not
My
even in the house.
mom used to send me WhatsApp messages. She started doing that from then. She used to send me WhatsApp messages.
Yeah.
Me too tea.
Exactly. And the lunches were like lunch hour and all. I don't even remember because it was like very hectic, and I was very afraid of coming back to. I mean,
Yes,
going
yes.
to the college in the first place because I thought it would be the same. Okay, same. It will be very hectic. I won't be getting in time. And it was very different from biotech because biotech was more of research oriented. We'll be always learning, as in we have to learn. It was very academic oriented, and the questions were also like whatever is in the book, it would come for the exam.
Mm.
uh, but MBA, we like it was very different.
I
Okay,
remember
I
asking
mean,
the senior for question papers, PYQ. Do you know why? Because I thought it would come from PYQ and I can crack this exam easily.
right.
No way. I searched everywhere. No, I didn't get.
And I hope you remember, our most of the orientation will start at 7 a.m.
7
with
to 7.
Balasar's newspaper
Newspaper
session.
reading sessions.
Oh God, like first of all, it was very difficult for me to wake up at 7.
Yeah. Mm.
And newspaper, I've never touched newspaper in my life
And the scariest
other
part
than
is
to
that
check the movie.
yeah, sir will call out the name. Sir will go through the list. Dedicated professor. I mean, I know he's an amazing professor, but the scariest part of being a student over there was that I felt because not knowing what is happening in the business world. I mean, I didn't know anything. So
Exactly.
basically,
Even I didn't know.
yeah,
Everything was so
helped a
new,
lot.
and I felt like a lot of experienced people were there, and they knew about world, and I felt there is like a very big gap because I am learning what is in the textbook, but they know everything about the world, what
Yes.
is happening. They are talking, like they are connecting the the for example, Sensex drop. I will be
Mhm.
like, okay, so what? And they will connect all the economic indicators and how if this drops this would happen, or if like that and all, inflation rate, everything.
Remember,
I didn't know how it
centers
was
are
all
telling us
connected.
this is actually the half UPSC syllabus that yeah, you
Yeah,
have to
yeah,
be
yeah,
that
yeah,
to in the process you will become that and all. So
yeah. Right, right.
we are very thankful to the professors that got us, those in the that scariest part of us coming out and then dealing with that, making us
True.
corporate ready to get the pack. I mean, to get into the company with a good package. So
Yeah.
it is a very good thing.
the
Yeah.
the assignments, projects, pre-readings, then homework. It was a never-ending saga. You will be like, one day you are like all relaxed, and you will see a ton of mail saying, "Okay, new assignment, new exam, new class test, surprise test." My God, it was like a adventure. To be really honest, online class hectic, like the kind of.
Schedule, the screen time, everything was too
Screen
much.
time, everything. It was like very high during online class time, I would feel.
Yes.
But it has helped us a lot, obviously, to navigate through
And I
corporate life.
believe we have I thought, I mean, I really felt I have become that online I mean, who know to properly reply to on I mean, get connected with people online, in the sense they're only my buddies,
Yeah,
so I have to be kind of good to them, I have to talk with online and all. We don't, I mean, I didn't know how to, I mean, I know how to text and I text in the group the people whom I have seen, have been growing up with, but not with anyone whom I haven't seen till that day. So that etiquettes,
exactly. Right.
everything got into us through that 1 year. And yeah, coming back, then. I see that your profile is you, as you said, you moved into sales and you've done sales and operations internship in Amrita and then marketing. And I could see this post on your LinkedIn, which you had published with our amazing professor Shobna ma'am and Deepak sir. Yeah. So I could see that everything. And then I remember the time you got placed into Cartech, the first people to get placed on the campus, and the internship that started like with the college going on,
Yeah,
everything.
yeah,
Yeah, and bringing one more point, yeah, so the experience in online and offline gave us was completely different because back in campus we were a bit cool.
yeah.
We
Right.
had our
So
home.
true.
Yeah, it was a
Yeah.
huge campus, and we were
Very beautiful. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. It was
Amazing.
a home away home. It was a
We
resort.
are marketing Amrita.
I hope someone calls me for
This
a
is not
marketing
sponsored.
into a marketing team by listening to this. Okay, so it was kind of a resort for all of us. Etumade campus
Yeah.
was, I mean, yeah.
And our professors, every like so amazing professors.
Yes, the way they used to care careful. So yeah, so marketing internship car first corporate experience. What did you learn? Is the next question for you.
From car technologies or I'll do
First,
that.
the first-hand corporate experience. What did you feel being in corporate, being in with the
Oh,
employees over there? I mean, the first taste of corporate. What did you feel like? Internships and this.
yeah. So the first taste of corporate, I would say I got it through like I started my journey with sales. The thing was that normally when we are talking about sales, people like have mentioned you'll be
Yes,
like a woman in
yes.
sales.
Because
That kind of talk.
yeah,
Hmm.
I have my
Yeah.
brother. He took marketing, so I asked him. I liked it when I read the textbook. So as you can see, I am upgrading my marketing skills over there here. Yes, I liked it, but I was very scared because everyone is asking like women in sales, the cliche that everyone have.
Yeah.
How did you navigate through it? What were your thoughts over there, and how are you being the marketing manager, the market researcher, the analyst, everything you have achieved, what you wanted to. So I see the leader in you navigating through challenges, everything, the
Mhm.
conditioned mindset, everything. And hats off for the courage that you took and yeah, the experience.
Thank you. So when I was reading through the JD of my first Indian internship, which was in Bajaj Electricals, it was a B2B sales role. So I remember where it like the JD was typically for a guy prepared for a male candidate because it requires traveling. And when I was talking to my parents, also they were like sales, like why sales? You can look into marketing or finance or giving options. But when someone says, "Why are you doing this? You are a woman." This gives me
You
like
get
a
it in you.
yeah, I'll be like, now I have to do it. Now I have to show them. Ki
Yeah, I
I
feel
can do
that
this.
is the social conditioning we have. Okay, all the men,
Yeah.
all my friends listening to you, the next guest on the hot seat is going to be a German friend of mine who is a guy. So I am not supporting any women led brands or people over here. It's just the normal talk that we're doing it here. Yeah.
So at that time, I was like, no, I have to show it to them by, being the woman in sales. But at the same time, it has that experience have also helped me in a way to understand the customer from the front seat. Because marketing normally we'll just have an idea when we are doing the marketing. We'll be guessing how the how the users will be navigating through our product, or like how they will be using the product. All these will be lot of guessworks will happen. Other than obviously data back data
Subscribe.
back decisions
Hmm.
we will be taking. Other than that, a lot of guessworks happen. But when it comes to sales, you are seeing the customer, you are facing the customer. You will get from their like from them directly what they expect, what they don't. So sales and marketing, it generally it's separate, but it's very our sir, our professor Gopakumar used to say,
Yes.
yeah, say in his class, ki sales and marketing are never separate. It should be. together. One
Hmm.
is helping the other to, you know
Yes. Hmm.
helping each other. It is more like
Actually, when
mutualism.
we see, I don't have a marketing background, but I had given kind of marketing interviews also. So when I am thinking it in that perspective, I believe, I mean, I don't know if I have the lens of marketing suddenly in my head, but I believe everything is in the marketing sphere because you want people to get noticed, your idea, do the stuff. Yes, you have to go through the process, but at the end or everything, you have to think of your target audience who are
Yeah,
going to consume this. So everything is related to marketing as it
yeah.
was a late realization though, but I got that. Yeah.
Marketing and sales, like you are
Yes.
doing a sales pitch for your interview, right?
Hmm.
Like you are portraying yourself as a product. You are like, why
Yes.
you should buy me
It's a
for
pitch,
your company.
right? You are
It's
self-pitching over
just,
there.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, we are pitching. So in a way, there is a salesperson in everybody's, mind, regardless of the
Hmm.
gender. But I do agree this that sales job was for male candidate.
But you aced it, right? You went through it. You came as
Yeah,
a
yeah,
successful
yeah,
person,
yeah, yeah.
next communication. Yes.
That was a very new like experience because okay, I like explain what my role was. So basically, it was a Bajaj Electricals B2B sales. So we'll be like business to business. So whatever
Mm-hmm.
projects are there, we'll be like analyzing all those projects, going to various malls. We'll be talking to the manager there,
Mm-hmm.
and we'll be understanding whether there's any project, and if there is any project, we'll tell that to the salesperson in the company, and they will contact them, and you know vice versa, like, as in the
Got it.
other process will go on. And the funniest part was most of the time I'll be going with a tube light
Mm.
to show as a demo to all this tech park. So
Okay.
what happens is tech parks, it's like the
Mm.
security would be very
Yes.
strict, and whenever they see me walking with a huge thing in my hand, they will immediately assume it's a gun.
See, this is what is called as courage, okay? You have the
Uh,
social conditioning existing in people's mind, but you have the
uh,
knowledge to push through. All you need is
yeah,
one point, step forward with courage. I can see it in you because the first time I asked you, you're like, yes, I'm there. The second time I'm sending mail, she's like, okay. Third time, she's like, what is it? What are we doing? See, that is called as courage and trust. You trust me, you trust my
yeah,
intentions, and I reveal it to you. So I think I truly believe that trust is what hold everything together rather than business, money coming in, everything. It's always a brand
yeah,
name. It's always, I don't call me a brand, but I'm telling the brand name, the person over there, the face of the company,
yeah,
the face of the product, everything. So that is a step of courage going with that to the person over there, right? As a woman, and that's not very expected because of the social conditioning we are in. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. So I have visited numerous tech parks in Bangalore. I was all well versed of most of the metro lines and the stops. Right now, please don't ask me now. But at that time, I was
I
very well
understand.
versed.
Yeah.
And randomly, securities will come and check the tube light, and I got used to it. Even in metros also. And
Okay.
so this was a, but it was since it was B2B,
Mm.
it was
Yeah.
easy
Mm.
in a way because we'll be meeting with other business owners,
Yes.
and but from my parents perspective, they were imagining me sitting in front of a tech park and like, or a tube light, one tube light, one tube.
I get you.
So it was very fun to like explain to them what exactly I'm doing, because for them selling is like what they have seen, like people will come with back to the
Mm.
houses, I mean go and visit people in their houses, house to door sales.
Mm-mm.
They are like used to that, and they are also used to the sales people which they see
Mm-mm.
near
Got it.
bus stand, etc.
Mm-mm.
So I was telling them I'm doing B2B sales and I'm going to tech parks. So they are imagining me going with tube lights, sitting in front of in front of the tech park, putting about like one tube light and rupees.
Yeah, that is what I believe, that social conditioning still exists in generations. So
Yeah,
when I
yeah.
was trying to make this podcast, I made sure that who will be the target audience, who will watch it. So I got my MBA knowledge. I mean, it got working in me when I was starting this. So I wanted, I said Gen Z, obviously our generation, and then the millennials, because I believe millennials paved way for us to be able to talk in these platforms, to be able to share our experience. Because I believe someone, as I already told in the video, someone has to build the chair for me to sit in it. Someone has to do the hard work for me to do the smart work. So that is what
Yeah.
I believe. So I respect every millennial over here as the heroes, because if you guys hadn't been there, we won't be here today as discussing all this. And this is not a pitching for the next guest. Also, I'm telling the truth. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was my
Yeah.
first internship experience.
Mm-mm-mm.
And in a way, my parents were supportive, and
Yes.
like
Got it.
all of
Mm.
like, my friends, everyone was really supportive of me and what I was doing at that time. And after that, I got into car technologies as a market research and strategy analyst, and it was more of a founder's office roles and responsibilities. And I mean, at it is very rare to do such things which I have done in car
Yes.
technologies for a
Mm.
person who is like at the early stage of career.
You were
So they
actually
have,
experimenting with everything so that you make sure that in future you're gonna be somewhere like that. That
yeah,
is it. That is what was in your mind. I could feel it. Yeah. No more
yes, yes,
experimenting
yes,
after a
yes.
period of time. I'm gonna do
No,
everything. I'm gonna go to the track. I'm gonna establish myself. That's it.
yes. And uh, yeah, so in case of car technologies, like I told, we were part of founders office, and we were working very closely with the CEO.
Hmm.
So our team has helped in acquisition, you know, uh, building strategy for the organizational level.
Hmm.
Like it was very new, because we'll get to study what we haven't studied during MBA.
Hmm.
And other than that, such, the exposure I have got there at that point of my career was like very, very,
Yeah.
immeasurable. Yeah.
Okay, so when you look back now, you are the manager at Star Health Insurance, and I got connected to her through Instagram, asking because some other people contacted me from an agency, and also I wanted to clarify with her. That's how we got back in track. As I told, we were not friends, we were not buddies. I used to, I mean, see who was she. She used to see who was, and all these things. That's how I got back to her on this, and I'm like, I'm so blown off because. See, I texted you, asked you, and you're here. So that is what our college got us into, that system and everything. So looking back, now we are almost completing. I can see like almost 2 years, right? Two for more than that.
2
Okay, we
two
have
years
10 minutes for the meeting. Yeah, 2 minutes. Sorry, 10 minutes. So, 2 years. What is the best learning that you've got, and what would you give to the viewers if they're from there are juniors or someone who's wanting to get into a job? And what would you tell about the market, present market right now? And how can you say that? I mean, I'm not getting into a job perspective because I know it would be a talk in the office tomorrow once I upload this. So, I mean, I can see this women in you who wanted to bring in a change. I can see the leader in you who is doesn't preach, but who owns the talk that she does and does it and shows others that who she is. So this is basically dreams awakened. I would say that is my tagline. I keep telling it because you had a dream and you're doing it. You're not speaking about it, you're doing it. So these questions, your corporate experience, and how would you think you changed as a person in this 2 years? And she has an alternate account, guys, on Instagram, which is good account. Go follow, find her over there. You can make it private, okay? I'm in the middle. I'll tell all this. So yeah. So that question, what got you the market, the industry, and everything? We'll just wind it up within like 8 minutes because it's almost
Yeah,
getting to an end.
sure. So I wouldn't say like I have mastered the corporate life, because I'm still learning it. It's just the early stage of career. I'm still figuring things out. Daily, I'm getting like very new life life lessons, and we'll understand the moment we step out of the college. We'll understand the corporate is a very different world, and especially the college was a very,
They
like, you
pampered
know,
us. They also pampered us.
yeah,
Our students.
pampered us. Yeah. So we had a very different world view, like how the world view would be, how the corporate would be. But when we were in the corporate life, we were like, oh my god, this is so difficult to handle. And as an academic person, I would say I find it very easy to learn things, but very difficult to implement the things which I have learned. Okay.
Correct.
So, like, I can understand the concepts, I can understand the things, but I don't know where to apply. I don't know
Exactly.
how to apply
I
it in
remember
real life.
I was asking in my first meeting the process. I mean, I want to know how, where, why, when, where, because I want to know how it fits in. Because that thing I don't have
Yeah,
it. That's where people work. We have the
yeah,
knowledge, they're coming in, and there is a gap. So that gap is,
yeah.
I was like completely confused in that gap only in my
Exactly. So, like,
first few
if
days.
you asking me what is marketing, I can see, but how to apply that here? How to apply, like, even that Maslow's
Yes,
hierarchy of needs,
hierarchy.
like how to apply that here? Like, for some people, it is common sense. Okay, they'll be
Hmm.
like, this is like this. This is just
I
common
think
sense.
guys have it because if you talk to a guy at office, I mean, my
Uh,
colleagues, I mean, this is so easy. You don't know it.
this is
That
easy.
that comes
Yeah.
to them. I mean, yeah,
So true. And I've noticed that gap in me also. Like, I'm able to learn, but I'm not able to excel that much in, career, because I'm not able to apply that the way I want in the first, like, initial
in
stage of my
initial days,
career.
yes, yes.
Yeah. So so again, I had to put a lot of effort in, like, what I'm doing. Actually, this whole journey, when I'm, like, looking back, it was a self introspection
Got it.
introspective, to be really honest. And there is no a set goal,
Yes.
but when you are going through,
Go with the
like,
flow. Go
when
with
you're
the flow.
going through the flow, you are understanding yourself.
Mm.
You are able to
What do you
understand
want?
yourself. You are able to be you are able to understand, okay, these things you can do, these things like, you have some
Yes,
problems
still.
with these
Mm,
things.
mm.
I have to put efforts on these, and I had to take this thought away, that if I'm putting effort into something, that doesn't mean that I suck at this, I'm, like, really bad at this, I will never be good at this. That means it is even appreciating that, like, someone is putting an effort to
Yes.
learn something.
I feel most of the people out there who will not take risk or who would not go for that step of courage that you took is where the thought comes in. What if I fail? So, guys, we
Yeah,
are here to tell you that we have failed a million times in our lives. We had been part of the social conditioning of what if I fail? But see, I
we are
didn't
still
have a
feeling
plan.
and learning.
Yeah, so we learn, we fail, we learn, we fail, we learn. I remember Ed Sheeran quoting this. There is nothing in success. It's a true. There is nothing in success. You get to learn things from failing in life. So that is where MBA got me thinking. Okay, how do different companies in the world come in? They fail thousand times. What do? You show up. You show up. You show up. You don't give up.
Right.
So that is what I can find in you. That energy I can find in you. Yes.
Like,
So,
it's very easy if you're, like, when you ask for someone, when you're young and you ask to someone what job you're doing, and you will and how to choose the job that we want. Most of them say, go for something that is ambitious, or they will say, these are the things which makes money, which gives, like, good return, so go for that. But when you're navigating life, some people will have set goals, like, okay, this is what I want to do, and they will be working for it, like, from childhood.
mm.
And there are, like, other set of people.
Aishu, I'll just get back to you. The link, it's going to be broken now. We remember the
Okay.
point, I'll get back to you, okay? One second. Still glitch and technical issue, guys, because I am very new to this. In the sense, understanding to be a podcaster, I have to get my lessons right. So we were discussing on something about the corporate and her experience and the leader I see in her, the way that paved her, everything. So, since we both have been got the thought connection, I'm gonna ask her some more things over the same thing of dreams awaken theme. So, Aishu, yeah. So, how do you trust a brand? How do you market for a brand? Because I could see you trusted me very easily. You know me, but still, how do you execute that?
I know most of the times these like we will go with the data. Most of the decisions are backed by data. Data is everywhere. I would like to say the cliche dialogue, I look into the data, but I am a very gut feeling person. Like
Got
I just trust my gut feeling most of the times. Um, which should be with which shouldn't be applicable everywhere,
it.
because most of the time we should
Mm,
be, as a marketer, as a salesperson, most of the time in
mm,
our especially corporate life, we should be taking decisions on the basis of data.
mm,
But sometimes that, when we are trusting, like you told, most of the transactions happens because of the trust that you have in um, a company, or that person, that individual. And that is something pure which we cannot measure with numbers. It's immeasurable, it's not quantifiable.
I'm going on
It's
cloud
it is
nine.
something.
I'm going on cloud nine. Don't praise
So
me.
So yeah, like I told, I trust in my gut feeling with you also.
I
And
believe that comes out of a leadership quality in everyone because once you are not supported by any other things and you have to take a decision, you have to listen to this place like this or this. I mean, your heart, I meant. Yeah. So you have to follow your heart. That is how this whole podcast came into being. Like it was always like I have got Instagram messaging when I was asking people. You only told me that follow your heart.
ha, yeah.
Huh.
Follow
So
you. Yeah, yeah.
Someone told me, I was asking for an invite and everything. They told me, go ahead, follow your heart. So that comes to me every time. I don't know what it is. And so that as a lead. So this title, the episode title was Lead with Purpose. So I believe I could ask as much as according to my knowledge and experience to the manager that is in front of me. And do you have anything more to add that I had missed out because of time issues, technical glitches, and my mind going behind technicalities? Anything like, do you have anything apart from the guest review? Something else you have? Please speak on it.
I I just want to say that it's like, when if you're navigating your journey, it could be career journey, it could be your academic journey, it could be any other journey. But it's not. I know that world is asking you to have a destination, set goals. If you're ambitious, it's okay. Like, go follow your passion, go follow your ambition, work for it, whatever it may be. But if you're some, it's like totally normal to not have any ambition also.
Yes.
It's totally normal. And I know that feeling of ambiguity is very, it's not something normal, because
Mm.
uh, when you're not having any ambition, when you're not having any set of goals, it takes you to a journey which is ambiguous,
Mm.
right? And if you're going through that journey, you will start realizing yourself, you'll start doing a lot of self introspection. And I think that would help you not only to find your way, also to find yourself.
So I believe,
So
yeah, yeah.
yeah, so when you're navigating through any journey, trust trust yourself. And like I told, it's okay, it's okay, everything will, like, go with the
Just
flow.
align. Yes, still the flow is complete.
Yeah,
No, I have
until
to
the
check
flow is
the
not
book that
flowing,
is not flowing the way that something more is there. I'm not getting it.
until the flow is not flowing. Gen
Yes,
Z.
yes, Gen Z. So, coming to almost an end to this first episode of podcast, I don't know how I'm gonna upload it. I'll just try to make it very raw and because I have to understand how it works, and we are learning in the process also. So I believe that I could ask whatever I can ask, and I also wanted to put in a point to what you were telling. Judge me wrong, also just tell it to me if I'm wrong. I believe that this is the marketing era of the world where it is imposed on everyone that everyone should have a drive, everyone should have an ambition, everyone should have a dream. I don't
Yeah.
think it works that way. It works as if like, what do you want? Go for it. If you don't want
Right.
anything now, just like our 12th stand that we told, we didn't want anything. We were experimenting with life. We were taking life choices. So just go with the flow. So that is what she exactly wanted to say. Tell, go with the flow until the flow is flowing your way, right? I got it.
Yeah, right. So
Yes.
it's very easy to like get swayed by the trends which is
Mm.
happening around you. Like the new trend, like they will be like AI is coming,
Mm.
and it's very easy to get
It's,
swayed.
it's imposition. It's like everyone should know it, otherwise you can't. No, man. You give yourself some time and figure it out. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just because a role is trending doesn't mean you are the perfect fit for it.
Mm.
You just imagine like a day, okay, in their shoes. Like for
Mm.
example, if you want to be a product manager, just go through multiple JDs. Just think
Mm.
you sitting there doing this job from 9 to 5. Do you get that pleasure? And it's not necessary. See, every job is not for everyone,
Mm.
and it's okay. It's okay if you're not having passion. Also, just
Experiment things and learn from it and decide for
right,
yourself, right?
right. But
That way.
don't take a step back before experimenting.
Yes. And I feel if you're in something, you should be able to go forward also. I mean, I know it's very hard. As we
Hmm.
already told, everyone will fail. Every failure is a part of the process, and I believe you should trust the process. And one more thing, yesterday, see this. I believe this premium side of Instagram inspires me a lot because scrolling through Instagram, I see the Raj Shamani podcast. I that podcast got me to do a podcast, to be honest, to be having guest because the art of getting into people's brain and asking questions, it's like literally it was a challenge. I felt like, okay, you are the prey issue and I am going to I'm so sorry, but yeah, I wanted to bring it. Yeah, so that way, so premium side of things, I got to listen to this. I mean, I got to read this key. If you are in hell, keep going because that is the way to get out of hell.
Right.
So, similarly, if you're in something, just keep going. Trust the process, trust God, trust universe, trust yourself, and that's the way to get out of it.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So, thank you so much, Aishu, for taking the first and big step. I have no idea how long this video is going to be on the platform that I promised you because we don't know how it's going to reach and the reactions and the things and how afraid I'm going to feel, how vulnerable I'm going to feel after uploading this video. I only know because changing the private account to public account made me so nervous and anxious that I couldn't sleep for some time yesterday night. So, let's see how it goes, and you are the guest of honor for me, and when I get to listen from you, I mean, I'm going emotional, but when I get to listen from you where email like thank you Neetu, thanks for and everything, it just brings me back to that vibe that okay, even if you don't speak to someone, your actions get noticed. You are getting noticed everywhere. That is how people, our brain have an imprints, and that is how it get executed at times of necessity is what I feel. So you are the guest of honor for me. Thank you so much. Thank you. This is like not simply telling because it's my first episode. So I had no intentions. It was just a random Instagram post that came up because I was influenced by Gen Alpha, Gen Beta influencers. They were posting stuffs, and I felt like I was simply, I was like too much saturated by that content that it came out of me. That simply I asked, I like this orange economy booming. Would you guys do want to meet? I mean, give live lessons on a podcast, and people were like, "You go, girl, you go, girl," and that's how that idea came into being. And since my MBA degree somewhere, I had to use that knowledge also. So that is the story of Dreams Awaken, and you're an absolute gem for me, and I hope to stay in touch and get in this
Yes.
connection with you in future also. You will be remembered of this podcast. I don't know. I don't want to get viral and all because I'm scared. But if our professors are listening to us, if our friends, acquaintances, anyone, family, See, this is all personal opinions, and you're all welcome. Please do comment, please do likes. Yeah, if you feel like liking and everything, forgive us if we were wrong somewhere. If the notion, that perspective which got you to say or make us feel that we got us thinking in some other way, forgive us, because we are also Gen Z, just understanding, stepping into your shoes, and coming to know the world. So, thank you, people listening to me. Thank you, family. Thank you, friends. Thank you, mentors. Thank you, teachers, professors, everyone. And my biggest thank you to Aishu for having you here. And we're gonna wind up this show, Aishu. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Needu, for inviting me. This is also a very new thing for me. And like I mentioned before, what you're doing is like really unimaginable. And the kind of struggles you have gone through, and and you are rising like, the phoenix bird. And it
You
is
read
so.
what I write. I have people from. I see the statistics of my website. It gives me a heart attack. I'm like, I'm having people from US and all looking into my LinkedIn. I'm like, what is happening? I'm getting into panic mode because, see, I write what I feel like writing. So, I mean, if it's about, so I have to be very authoritative to write on something and to speak on something. So that gives me the responsibility to take the complete accountability for what I'm doing, because I'm
Right.
alone doing this. So that gets me to be scared, like, am I doing the right thing? Am I on the right track? Am I getting the right guidance and everything? So it is, I know it's a leap of faith, but it keeps me going. So it is a pleasure, it's a hobby, it's a fun, and it's a joy. And as I told you, it's not for monetization purpose, it's just for pure fun that we're doing this.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's it.
Yeah. So yeah, I really hope this becomes a, very big thing for you.
Ayo.
Then you get busy.
Exactly. I enjoyed the process because I was tensed. I dressed up 1 hour before and I'm sitting. I can't look into the profile because I know what it is. So I decided I'm not gonna refer anything because I want to be very authentic, very original, very raw. So that got me texting, are you ready? We'll start. So this is also a new experience, and
So
thank you
yeah,
so much. My
I'm
next of
really
honor.
proud of whatever you are doing, and I can't imagine being in your shoes.
Thank you. Okay, okay then. I'm ending it up here. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.